แล้ววันนี้นะคะเราก็มีเซอร์ไพรส์จะบอกว่ายังไงดีล่ะปกติเราเห็นการให้วิชั่นนี่ก็จะเป็นพูดใช่ไหมคะแต่วันนี้เราลองดูอีกแบบหนึ่งดนตรีจะทำให้ท่านมีจินตนาการที่กว้างไกลช่วงนี้มอบเวทีให้กับบรรณาธิการเครือเนชั่นคุณนพกุลลิ้มสมานพันธ์ค่ะเชิญค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับเมื่อกี้ผมก็มีโอกาสได้พูดคุยกับดร. Alexander Paufler นะครับท่านก็เป็นประธานบริหารของบริษัท Mercedes-Benz ประเทศไทยนะครับเจ้าตลาดรถยนต์ลักชัวรี่ในบ้านเรามาเป็นเวลานานนะครับผมก็เรียนถามดร. Alex ว่าคีย์เวิร์ดของการนำเสนอของท่านวันนี้เนี่ยจะเป็นรูปแบบไหนแกก็บอกว่ามี2 คำครับ creativity ความคิดเชิงสร้างสรรค์ innovation นวัตกรรมและ efficiency ประสิทธิภาพนะครับผมถามดร. Alex ว่าสไตล์ของดร. Alex ซึ่งจะมีเซอร์ไพรส์นะครับที่จะboost imagination ของนักศึกษาทุกท่านนะครับว่าสไตล์ของดร. Alex นี่เหมือนคุณสตีฟ จ็อบส์หรือเปล่าซึ่งสตีฟ จ็อบส์นี่ต้องบอกว่าเป็นคนที่สามารถ combine นะครับ engineering กับ art ทั้งเรื่องของวิศวกรรมกับศิลปะเข้าด้วยกันอย่างหมดจดแนบเนียน perfect อย่างที่เราเห็นใน iPhone รุ่นต่างๆแล้วก็ iPad ซึ่งก็เปลี่ยน revolution ของคอมพิวเตอร์และการสื่อสารการทุกอย่างนะครับในโลกของ IT ดร. Alex บอกของเขาไม่ค่อยคล้ายกับคุณสตีฟ จ็อบส์หรอกแต่น่าจะเหมือนกับริชาร์ด แบรนสันมากกว่าริชาร์ด แบรนสันนี่เป็นentrepreneur ชาวอังกฤษครับเจ้าของVirgin Atlantic สายการบินที่มีชื่อเสียงโด่งดังในรูปแบบของบริการแปลกๆนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยถ้าจะค้นใน Google ริชาร์ด แบรนสันเมื่อกี้ผมกดเข้าไปดูใน iPad iPhone ก็เจอเยอะพอสมควรแกก็มีไอเดียอะไรที่ดร. Alex บอกว่าคล้ายๆกับของดร. Alex นะครับเพราะฉะนั้นก็ติดตามดูว่าเรื่องของ creativity ก็ดี innovation ก็ดีและ efficiency เนี่ยจะมาประยุกต์ใช้ในการบริหารจัดการเพื่อจะเจาะตลาด AEC 10 ประเทศประชากรลูกค้าเนี่ย600 ล้านคน10 เท่าของประเทศไทยได้อย่างไรในอีก2 ปีตอนนี้เหลือสัก2 ปี 2 เดือนนะผมนับดูถ้าเริ่มวันที่1 มกราคม 2015 คศเนี่ยนะครับ2558 ก็2 ปีกับ2 เดือนเท่านั้นเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเรื่องของ creativity เป็นเรื่องใหญ่ที่สุดเรื่องหนึ่งในความเห็นของดร. Alex ครับ so may I introduce Dr. Alexander Paufler President and CEO of Mercedes-Benz Thailand to the podium thank you
well sawadee it's a very tough one I think you have been sitting here and listening to so interesting lectures already. I feel a bit sorry for you that you now have to listen to me. Germans usually have no jokes, not much humor, so they say. So I try to twist this a little bit. At least I learned this morning that Kun Sutichai does not drink black coffee, even if he writes the column black coffee. So this is what I learned. And I learned many more things even if I do not understand your language so well. I learned what the really meaning of CEO is when I listen to Kuntan. Do you know what CEO means?
Chief Executive Officer.
I think it's more Chief Entertainment Officer, I think. And this is the way we do it, and I actually I prepared for you something what I'm going to do in the class. But this morning I read in the Nation Kun Napakun's article about the dean of MIT, and he really brought it in a nutshell. What's important? It's innovation, and that is also something I am writing in a book called Creativity Gym for Innovative Leaders, and Kun Panna kindly agreed to publish it here in the Nation group. And I'm at the moment working hard that it's finished before we see each other in May. So let me give you a flavor of what I'm going to do in May. Two things we will do together. We do a deep dive into organizational behavior, and you will see what I'm doing since about 22 years. I lived for a long time in Japan, and I was quite surprised that Kuntan doesn't speak Japanese, because I was expecting when somebody says Ichitan group, you know that there's a very famous word, Ichiban means number one, and he twisted this quite creatively. So I said to him, Nihongo wakarimasu ka? Before he left, and he said, what do you mean? I don't understand you. It was not German, it was Japanese. So let me just show you a few slides, and then I will do one thing. It's the second rule in my book. Every day you have to surprise somebody. So I hope I woke you up in the meantime, because lunch is coming fairly soon, and before lunch people are usually more so energetic. Can I have my first slide? So actually in this book, which I bought in New York while I was in May in New York City, my daughter was graduating with a master at the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I bought this book called The Wow Factor, and I said, that's interesting how to create it, inspire and achieve it. And it's written by a teacher of a college of music in the United States, and he had a very interesting idea. He'd say, every teacher should tell his teaching philosophy so that you know what happens when we meet again in thunderstorm and lightning in May. So it comes also from my personal mission statement, what I will explain to you. I think this is very important that you know exactly what you want to do. And since 22 years, that's my first statement, help others to grow. You can get these slides, you don't have to write. A motto for my teaching is what I always like. I learn to teach. I prepare very carefully for many weeks before I do something. And then I teach to learn, because I'm very eager to know your questions, and I'm curious to listen to your way of asking. What I want to do is I want to turn your creative, your technical, and your professional skills. I know there are many professionals and company owners here also, and you are already quite successful. And I would like to discuss this, what it then all it, in a nutshell, is a life skill. There are a few learning goals I want to go through with you. The first, and you could see it when the CEOs were presenting this morning, everybody's somehow unique, and you are also a unique product, everybody of you. And I think it's very important to know what are my product features. When I look at me as a product, I think this is very important that I know my strengths and my weaknesses. And Richard Branson was just mentioned. He's dyslexic, everybody knows that, but he is very good. He's very good in turning his weaknesses, having them covered up by people who have the strengths to do that. And this is the first learning goal in organizational behavior. You focus always on the I first. The second learning goal is something which is very important for a CEO. I went through many disappointments. I went through many problems. And I think it's very important to manage these disappointments. I give you one example, a very famous person. I always wanted to have lunch with him, but it's impossible because he was living 2,500 years ago. it was Aristotle. Aristotle, one of the three famous Greek philosophers. The first one, the oldest one, as you know, is Socrates, who founded the academy. The Greeks say academia, and all the academics have basically somehow this memory to Socrates. The second one is Plato, who had in dialogues with Socrates then basically the contents for his books, the dialogues. And the third one is my favorite, Aristotle. I never can have lunch with. It's a big disappointment. He was brilliant in solving a disappointment because he wanted to become the dean of the academy, so following Plato. And then they didn't take him because he was quite a person who showed edge. He had a different opinion to many things, so he was not so much in favor of many people. They took a third ranking philosopher instead of him. Now, what did he do to solve that? He found simply his own school, which is now the Europeans use the word of this school for girls' high school, lyceum, lycée, the French say. And I think this is a brilliant way to turn a disappointment around and make an opportunity out of it. So please don't forget my friends from 2,500 years ago. The last one as learning goal, which I somehow gave you as a leading indicator for my lecture. Please fill out this questionnaire with only 5 questions. The really important are the first 3. We will learn about creativity, and that's why not only a painter or musician needs that, you need that as a teacher, you need this as a medical doctor, you need this certainly as a chief entertainment officer, and certainly as a chief executive officer. And that's what I try also in the company to instill in our people. And you need to be curious, so questions are extremely important. That's what I told our freshmen. We had this week something in the company where we have introduced the freshmen to the company. And I told them, you just have to do 3 things. You all studied, you are all bright. And I turned this in a Greek word called nea, N-E-A. It's the Greek word for new. Before I came to Thailand, I was working 5 years in Greece. Before in Japan, 16 years. And nea, there's, for example, a party. Neo-demokratia means new democracy. And nea N stands for notes. So I told them, please make notes of your ideas before they fly away. The second thing is E, means engagement. So if you are not engaged, you just sit from 5 to 9 in the office, it's terrible. You're just killing time, and you should consider going somewhere else and do something different than working for us. And the last one is the most important one. It's A, it's asking. Very important. Because very often you sit in meetings, you ask the guy next to you, what is this meaning, this abbreviation? He says, I don't know. Then you ask, and 80% or 90% in the room are happy because they had all the same question, but they didn't ask. Now, coming back basically to the first slide where I said, everybody of you is a product, is unique. And no, I didn't want to come physically back to this. I just mentioned it. I want to come to the last. To get across, this is my last slide. I don't know whether you know the term pixie dust. You have to be somehow unique. You have to be. Whether it's, I don't know whether you need to wear a cap in the company, a captain's cap, or you need to wear a Rajapatan suit. Everybody has his or her own style. But I think coming back to the rule number 2 in my book, every day you have to surprise somebody. Now I want to surprise Let's say 60, right away. Master William, we call him, is the Deputy Dean of Mahidol College of Music. Give him a big hand. Actually, I have to tell a story because typical German, I came here last afternoon to double check everything because Germans hate Murphy's Law. We were finished, everything fine yesterday. This morning, we wanted to go 8:30 to the college, and then he called me and said, "Oh, in Thai."
รถเสียตรงทางด่วนพอดีเลยครับเมื่อเช้า
So I hope it was not a Mercedes-Benz. Anyway, he made it. Thank you very much. Khop kun ka. Thank you so much.